Hi, this is Lou Pulsfer with another of the Confusions of Game Design series. In this case, how people confuse transparency with simplicity. So, what is transparency? A transparent game is one that allows players to quickly see how they can succeed. So when a player finishes his first game, he has a good idea of how to play well. This contrasts with games where you have to play several times, maybe quite a few times, before you begin to really understand what it takes to win. So, transparency is a strong characteristic of family and party games, and it has become common in hobby games. Now, does this have anything to do with hidden information? No. It's about the visibility of the decisions that one has to make, of the good choices that are available. There's no hidden information in my game Britannia, for example, but it's definitely not transparent. A player has to play several times before he or she realizes most of the possibilities. The same can be said of the game Diplomacy. The game hides no information except the other player's intentions, but it has a lot of gameplay depth. Of course, those are both games for more than two, and that may make a difference. Now, what is simplicity? I think most of us know what simplicity is, but I'm talking about simplicity of game mechanics. And you can have a game that has simple game mechanics that's not transparent, such as chess. Also, a transparent game can have lots of complexity. Most classic pre-commercial games are fairly simple. Of course, they're all two-player games as well, or almost all. But some of them are far from transparent, like Go, chess, even checkers. Other games are transparent, like tic-tac-toe and Parcheesi. If an adult has never played one of those games before and plays it once, if they're a decent game player, they'll know everything that needs to be done. Party and family games are usually simple. Hobby games may be simple, they may be complex, anywhere between. I think we can say that hobby games are tending to the simpler on one side and tending to be more complex on the side where you have parallel competitions or puzzles. Of course, long games tend to be more complex and short games tend to be simple, but that's not always true. For example, Munchkin is a fairly simple game, and it's a long game because of the leader bashing. It takes much longer than it really is justified from what you do. But it's quite a simple game. My own game Britannia is somewhat simple in play. There's a lot of rules, but when you start playing, you pick it up very quickly. But it lasts 4 to 5 hours, so it's not short at all. It's quite a long game. Now, in neither of these cases am I talking about ease of learning. Ease of learning how to play the game. Britannia is easier to play than it is to learn because there are so many exceptions. It's not transparent. It's deep enough in gameplay that people can play 500 times and still enjoy it. And that's not something you can say about very many games. What limitations are there? Well, if you have a game where you've been intentionally transparent and simple, how do you offer new experiences within that game? You do it by varying the stuff in the game, by variety, not through traditional depth of gameplay. We used to do it the other way around. We had games that perhaps weren't so transparent, were often simple, but had a lot of depth of gameplay. Now, another limitation here is you can end up with bagatelles, as I call them. A simple, transparent game is often a bagatelle, which is to say, quote, a thing of little importance, a very easy task, unquote. So sometimes a transparent game is made complex, and often that turns it into more puzzle than game, sort of a parallel competition, each player doing their own thing. And that complexity makes the game, the puzzle, harder to solve. So we have interactions of transparency, length, simplicity, and complexity to consider when designing a game. Thanks for listening.